Hey there. I wanted to make a quick video about my 20s. I'm 25 right now, about to turn 26, which also means that I'm going on to health insurance, or my parents is going away. A whole bunch of other expenses are going to take place. I'm like, oh, I need to start getting serious about stuff and figuring out how to make a better life for myself. Because one of my biggest fears is to be turning the age of 30 and being like, oh shoot, I've been working at a slow pace. I'm still renting, and I'm gonna be working until I'm 60. So I'm trying to take some leaps now before I get to a stage in life where I'm too set in working for a company, and I have wife, kids, responsibilities, and I won't have the same flexibility that I have now. So here's a little glimpse of my past, and then current right here, and then kind of what my next steps are. So yeah, hopefully this could serve as some motivation to some people in their 20s to figure out what they want to do. Or it's tough. Everyone is different. The 20s is very difficult to it takes a while to figure out what you want to do. I don't think anyone really necessarily figures out what they want to do. So it's not career advice, but more so just kind of my own train of thought. So kind of want to start with my high school, college journey. So I graduated high school, got a so-so GPA, maybe around a 3, not even that. I goofed around a lot. I wish I would have had interest in the trades and, some STEM stuff earlier on. Got a head start with math, that sort of thing. Anyways, first year I went to a state college, or the University of Nebraska at Omaha, where I grew up. It's kind of where my parents wanted me to go. I didn't necessarily want to go there, but it's just something that they were supporting me on, so I went there. Freshman year, sophomore year, I transferred to a school called the University of Nebraska in Kearney, located pretty much in the center of Nebraska, but more so on the western side of Nebraska. And I transferred here for the sole purpose of trying to do the student exchange program. The student exchange program was a national student exchange thing where you could go ahead and go to a different participating school within that program. So literally I transferred here just for the sole purpose of doing that. So went to UNK for a semester, and then the second semester of the year in January I moved out to Salt Lake City to attend the University of Utah on the student exchange program. Throughout this time here I was interested in studying information systems, but that later changed, and it really wasn't until my senior year that I decided and kind of buckled down in that degree and really pumped towards my accounting degree. So I got a scholarship at UNK that encouraged me to come back to the University of Nebraska at Kearney, finish there. As a smaller school, maybe 7,000 student body, which was really good. I was pretty close with all my professors, and did my own independent research study, economic impact study, that actually turned into a real development that took place. So that was pretty sick. So COVID hit shortly before I graduated, so things at the university changed a little bit that semester. Luckily I was out that December of 2020. I graduated, and I graduated with $15,000 in debt. Totally reasonable. I could have been a lot worse off. So some takeaways from college: be resourceful, befriend all of your professors, try to do a research study if you can, take community classes, do some AP stuff in high school, get ahead of the game there. I really encourage a gap year. And then also, don't just do college because your parents want you to. Do it if you feel inclined to do so. But a gap year, trying a whole bunch of different stuff out, would have been awesome. It'd be nice if there's a program to go ahead and bounce between different career fields throughout like a gap year, try different stuff each month or every 3 months or something like that. And then a final thing here about college is push hard for a challenging degree. Don't goof off with it, but I do encourage you to goof off in college, because that's the best time in your entire life to goof off. But push hard for a challenging degree, something that will land you with a high-paying job, will give you less stress after the fact. So post post-college, this is this timeline here. And this is over the course of 4 or 5 years here. That's what this spectrum is. So after I graduated in December of 2020, it was 2021, I was like, what the heck am I going to do? I applied to over 20 plus places in the accounting, finance world, consulting, a whole bunch of different stuff, customer success. And, it's easy to get discouraged, but you got to just push forward. Don't feel like you're devalued. You're fresh. So why would anyone want to hire you compared to everyone else that's just finishing? So, whatever you get, take it afterwards. So I ended up finally landing a job working, doing a customer success job for a HELOC product that a company called Figure Technologies launched. So I had the choice to move to either Reno or Bozeman, and I chose Bozeman. Moved out here, did customer success, and it was a good starting job. It was maybe $50,000 a year or so, but I hit a plateau where I learned everything pretty quickly, and it wasn't challenging or engaging. There's no move up opportunities, and I kind of got a bad taste in my mouth about working the corporate world after that. So I started to feel this need to diversify. So I started a little business called Block Biome. Originally, we wanted to do things related to NFTs and assign tangibility in real life products and objects to things that are located on the blockchain and sell those at high values. So that changed over the course of the last couple of years. I'll get into that in a minute. But anyways, I was so fed up, and I actually put in my time, 2 weeks. I think I actually gave him a month's notice just for courtesy. And within that time frame, I was interviewing for some other internal roles at Figure, and I didn't know exactly if I was going to get them, but luckily I landed an internal promotion doing an analyst role. I was onboarding clients' capitalization tables onto our cap table tracking management software. That was a remote role, and that was awesome. Pay was around $75K a year, and it was nice because, okay, you have all the health insurance benefits, regular money, and remote. So I went home. I love spending time with my family. Spent maybe over 2.5 months there. Went to Mexico for a month. Enjoyed going to different coffee shops around town. Just mixing it up. So if you could do remote work, good on you, man. Like, keep on going for that. So, but also in this role, I kind of was like, this really isn't gonna advance to too much beyond this. AI is kind of kicking in, GBT, yada yada, and kept on feeling this need to diversify. So I went out and got my CDL. Actually failed that test 3 different times, and you pass, you fail, whatever. I'm a very good driver, but the backing portion was really difficult. So I had this weird CDL vision. I've always wanted to have some sort of excavation companies. I'm like, it's good to have in your back pocket, as the old timers will say. I took a welding class during this time, got some welding certs. And then also I started this vision of the Montana Build Certificate, which is basically a made-up program that I'm going to put myself through. I'm essentially branding my experience working for a whole bunch of different contractors and packaging it all together and calling it the Montana Trade Certificate. So I'm starting from the ground up, excavation, utilities, concrete, then working on the framing and all the interior stuff. And at the end of trying all these different trades, I might have a good skill set where I could build houses, build buildings, build that sort of stuff. And it's kind of been a goal of mine to build a house. So actually looking into the future, I'm trying to go ahead and build my first house in the summer of 2025. But for that, it's a tough confliction, because I'm going to have to A, have the skills to do that, but B, I need to have the money to do that. To obtain the skills to do that, I'm going to be working for a whole bunch of different contractors at $25-$30 an hour. but I could go a different route, focus on a different grind, and then try to piece it together when the building starts. But we'll go ahead. I'm skipping a few steps here. So anyways, I kind of, after a year of doing the analyst role, I put in an ultimatum, and it actually didn't work out in my favor. They kind of returned back to me and they're like, okay, well, it looks like you lost interest, or you divested your interest in working here at Figure. So we're going to go ahead and let you go at the time that you said you wanted to. So I was like, fair enough. All right. It's kind of a lofty ask in terms of my ultimatum. So if you are ever going to do ultimatum, be careful. Make sure you could actually justify your value and the salary increase that you're asking for. So I quit Figure May of 2023, which leads me to kind of this present summer. It's October now, but in May I started working for a contractor over in Livingston, building roads, retaining walls, doing utility lines, all of the above. And I got experience working all forms of heavy equipment, as well as lots of hours behind the wheel, driving dump truck with pup trailers, transfer trailers, equipment trailers. So that was a really good experience, and it's quite a grind and quite a transition from nice pleasant work from home thing to getting up at 5 a.m, commuting over Bozeman Pass, driving there 30 minutes back, packing my own lunches, yada yada. The trade world is a lot of work, but it could be very, very fulfilling. And that's another thing that kind of led me away from tech is not exactly the most tangible thing. You can't see the progress that's happening. Well, with construction and trades, you're actually constructing things, you're doing something tangible. Ultimately, I do want to go back to tech, but I kind of want to do tech related to construction and trades. So now we're October of 2023, and I feel like I got the experience that I needed working for Justin Contractors to go out and do my own thing. So that's providing me with an option here for next summer potentially. So right now I'm at this juncture here in the wintertime where I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for next summer to kind of bolster my income and make a better life for myself. So I kind of have, I pinned it down to like 3 different alternatives. So, but ideally this winter, I'm going to mess around a little bit. I'm going to Mexico to climb a mountain. I'm doing a cross-country ski race in Wisconsin, doing little miscellaneous things to keep me challenged, but yet living frugally at the same time. So this winter, I'd like to split my time 25% of my 25 hours a week. I'd like to do some interior carpentry renovation work, while the other 25% I want to work on blockbiome.com, my business. And depending on how the business goes, I would like to continue on with my business. That's option A. Option B is to take my excavation knowledge that I learned this summer and start my own trucking excavation company next summer. And again, that depends on how well Block Biome goes. And then C would be to continue on with my Montana builder certificate, continue pushing for that and learning those various trades and get really good at building and have a very good knowledge of construction and all of that. So I like all these options. These are all options that I want to do. So it depends on a lot of factors which one I end up doing. And this is not to hit on anyone who's working for anybody. It just wasn't for me since the get-go. So I kind of believe that it'll be much more rewarding in the future to go ahead and kind of go out on my own here. So post-graduation takeaways, or kind of my early career takeaways here, is A, don't get discouraged or feel devalued based on your job or your job search not going so well. That's, your company doesn't value yourself as much as you do. So at the end of the day, you need to do what's right for you. And don't let someone else assign your value. Create value on your own. Start to diversify yourself. Another thing I put here is to move away, put yourself through some other challenges. So I love living at home. It's a great way to save and stack up on money. However, moving away kind of forces you to go ahead and try other things, and it forces you to survive on your own. Someday I might move back home. My objectives might change if I start to have a family and whatnot. Another one here is to milk remote. If you ever have a remote work role, enjoy it. Go places, travel, do all of the above. Just make sure there's good Wi-Fi. When I was in Mexico, bad Wi-Fi is like 5 to 10 megabits a second, just barely enough to do Zoom and Google Meet calls. Live frugally is a really big one here. So throughout this time, I tried to save as much money as I could. Lived in probably one of the cheapest places you could ever find in Bozeman, Montana. And because of this, I have a little bit of a cushion where I could go ahead and play around on my own, take little vacations, and fund my business myself without needing other investors. Yes, if I'm doing dump trucking and I'm going to have to buy a $75,000 piece of equipment, and I'm going to take out a loan for that, but that's fine. Just do your numbers. Another thing, strive for great work and great referrals. Always strive for excellence, regardless of how shitty the work is doing. When I was working excavation this summer, there's so many times I was doing grunt bitch work, and that's okay. Like, even if you're the owner operator of that company, you're going to go ahead and do that. Just don't put yourself in a position where you're not doing that bitch work forever, and have a great attitude when you're doing that bitch work. Always strive for excellence, regardless of how low your role is. Another piece here. Plan years ahead, but live in the present moment. So you don't want to be fixated about the future, but I feel like you want to know where you're going to be in a future year from now. So, having those goals, for me, having my first house built summer of 2025, that's like a deadline. I need to reach that deadline. That forces me to go ahead and scramble and try to figure out ways to make money and obtain these skill sets to go ahead and achieve that. But at the same time, living in the present is the best thing you could do. Always live in the present and be thankful for every moment, every breath that you take. Don't compare yourself. There's plenty of other kids, a whole bunch of young bucks out there. You call them yippies, or whatever. There's a whole bunch of people that are doing better than you, crazier stuff than you, act like they're succeeding. They are succeeding. There's some people that have it a lot worse than you. There's some people that are married, have beautiful girlfriends, yada yada. Don't compare yourself. You are your own self, and if you want that stuff, you could strive for it and get it. So don't be fixated on what other people are doing. That's their own shit. Find your mission. For me, I kind of found my mission around the trades, recruitment, education around that, and also building plaques for buildings. So right now, that's kind of my temporary mission, but it's kind of keeping me going for now. Start loving to fail and love that process of failing and getting back up and learning from that, because that's inevitable in anything you do. And don't be too serious. There's no need to be too serious in life. Maybe if you're working as an investment banker or something, you could be all serious all the time, but everyone's human at the end of the day, so don't worry about that stuff. So 25 to 30 is kind of the time range I'm looking at. I don't have a timeline for that, although kind of what I'm looking to do within this time frame is start a family at some point here soon, hire people that have similar values as I do, hire a coach to push me and help me set objectives, expand my business every single year, acquire assets and shelter for myself. I can't be renting for forever. You know, it's nice to live in the cool places downtown New York or Bozeman, or you know, try and live in that kind of hipster lifestyle in a super expensive location. But you know, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to settle down and buy some shelter at some point. So it's really important for me to have some real estate assets. So in summary here, this is kind of my mission, and it's to build a system to get paid doing the shit that I want to do. So I'm trying to do that right now through all of this. So yeah, I thank you for watching this, and I kind of use these videos as encouragement to myself to go ahead and achieve some of these things. So cheers, and I wish the best to you as you're navigating your 20s, kind of going into your 30s, or even if you're in your 30s still. You know, still got plenty of time. We're lucky as humans to live for as long as we do and have all the resources, healthcare, tech, people that we have today. So no excuses not to. If you ever want motivation, one of the things that motivates me a ton is reading books about the pioneers and kind of what they did with the resources they had back in the day, and they got stuff done. So get stuff done, man.